Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Nina.
I'm Jessie.
So there's this lady, Nadia Whitcomb. She's a British politician, and she is speaking about how the rights of trans people don't conflict with the rights of lesbians.
Then why are they fighting for our bathrooms?
Or why are they telling lesbians that we have to consider dating them if they're biological men?
We started this entire channel because we had a problem with this.
Oh, big time.
Incredibly, anti-trans campaigners regularly use lesbians as a justification for their agenda, an agenda which, by the way, undermines all of our rights. They claim that they're standing up for lesbians who don't want to share their spaces with trans women, when polling shows that cis lesbians and bisexual women are more supportive of trans people than any other group.
Not fair. Not fair. Most lesbians would see cis lesbian and walk away. I don't think that you got an accurate reading.
No, any lesbian who says she's a cis lesbian is probably just a queer, meaning she's just bisexual. So if you want to say bisexuals support trans rights, go ahead.
Also,
but if you're saying lesbians, you have to understand that if a lesbian believes that lesbians who date trans women are lesbians, they are not lesbians and they do not speak for us who are female homosexuals.
two things, too. Where did you take this poll? Because if it was Pride, that's not even kind of...
That's a joke.
Right. Number two, how old is this poll? Because if you would have asked us back in like 2019 if we had any problem with trans people in our bathrooms, we would have both said no. But if you would have asked us back in like 2022, we would have said yes. So how old is this polling? I'm curious because everything has changed dramatically. Or else why would Trump be elected?
In 2019, I would have said yes, I have a problem with it. In 2008, I would have said no.
This was just a rough example.
Well, I mean, I have been watching stuff about this for the past 10 years. It's a long time. So I would have said no.
Good for you. I just wanted to feel that chip on your shoulder. Ooh, I've been studying it for 10 years. I had a problem with trees longer. Okay.
I have a problem with men parading around as if they're women.
Yeah.
Insulting women, insulting lesbians,
Yeah.
being bullies, being violent, calling for the
I agree.
R word of us. And you too.
I agree. I'm just saying like 5 to 10 years ago, people had less of a problem with it. You're going back almost 20 years right now by saying 2008.
Yeah,
I just want to
because
point that
that's
out.
when I first met someone who was trans.
Yes, but that's a big gap. I don't think it's that big. I'm saying like 2015, 2014, more lesbians were open to it. Up until like the early to late 2020s, early to late 2019, that area, to early 2020s. Mm-hmm. That's when people really started having a problem with it.
Yeah.
Lesbians in general didn't have a problem with it until recently.
Leave it to this bag whore to say that we're saying shit that we aren't saying.
Babe, stop trying not to swear.
Well, I'm just calling her out for what she is.
I just like how it went from like, I'm not going to swear to instantly, this bag whore can suck a bag of dicks.
Listen, I'm using the Megyn Kelly rule. You get 2 fucks, maybe 3.
You used cunt also and shit.
Well, shit's kind of light. Cunt's a good one, I think. I think cunt is an accurate description of this lying sack of hot, sweaty, moldy balls.
I love when I agree with you, but you like to fight. I agree with everything you're saying, but Megyn Kelly has a different rule set than you. Megyn Kelly says fuck 3 times, and it's like, I'm sorry. You said like 8 swears in one sentence, and you were like, I'm using the Megyn Kelly rule book, and I'm like, that is not the Megyn Kelly rule book.
Well, you're over-exaggerating, but how's that, Chip?
I like it. You want to pet it again? His name is Chip.
Now you sound like a trans woman in my ladies' room.
How?
You should pet it again. Its name is Chip.
I don't know how that sounds like a tree. I don't know. Tell me. I'm not asking you to touch my dick. I'm not asking you to touch my dick. I'm not threatening to pee on your feet.
That's true. They do threaten that, don't they? Nasty ass.
I was just joking. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings.
No, my feelings don't get hurt easy. I just get pissed, usually.
I'm sorry if I pissed you off. I was just joking.
I'm not mad.
Promise.
Why would I be mad? I ain't mad at you.
I was just joking. Yeah, okay. We good?
Yeah, we been good. You're allowed to have your opinion. I don't care.
I just like to joke sometimes. I thought maybe that joke was a little too mean, and that's why you can't throw it back at me.
It's only because you can't see my eyes, so you don't know.
I don't know. That's why I'm apologizing. I don't like to bully you. I just like to make, fun little jokes. So if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to. Or, hurt your madness. I don't know.
Okay, should we continue?
Yeah.
They claim that trans people are forcing young cis lesbians to become trans men. This is the same as what was said about gay people under Thatcher, that we were converting children. Today, thankfully,
That is true, but there's a difference. You didn't see gay teachers talking about pride and about how it's great to be gay and it's wonderful and you should try it and it's a freeing life. They weren't talking about that. In schools now, you see trans flags, you see pride flags, you see teachers talking about the wonders of trans and how it's awesome and kids are being popular because they're trans. And it's just, if a little girl has an attraction to other little girls, it means that maybe she'll grow up to be gay. But you don't say, hey, little girl, I'm going to do this neo-gay conversion therapy on you and convince you that in order to date girls, you have to be a guy.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Kind of off topic, but we all know Pride is next month.
Yay.
And I was wondering how much in super thanks it would take to get you to show up to a local Pride event.
$1,000.
So if we get $1,000 in super thanks, Nina will go to a local Pride festival and we'll bring the camera.
Yes. I won't like it.
But for $1,000, you'd do it.
I'd do it. Yeah, I've never been to a pride. I absolutely refuse.
There's 23,000 of you guys. If literally just 1,000 of you give us her $1.
26,000.
There's a lot of you guys. Just give us $1, you know? And you'll see Nina at Pride. It's in like 2 weeks.
You'll see me miserable.
I'll make her wear a rainbow flag as a cape.
Should I like cosplay as an LGBTQ activist?
I don't think you'd fool anyone. You'd like end up throwing fists at people.
But shh, don't tell me.
We could probably get Mike to come out.
Harlow?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Could see who on YouTube wants to come do a Pride interview with us.
Oh my God.
$1,000. That's cheap. Cheap labor. You get both of us. That's like $500 a pop.
most of society accepts that that's absolute nonsense, and there are more young
This bitch just said most of society believes that's absolute nonsense. Listen, just because you have a small group of friends doesn't mean that's most of society. What is that called? You're
A microcosm.
You're embellishing.
Well, yeah, you're also living in a microcosm of your own thoughts.
Yeah, your own little land of delusion.
Yeah.
And
I told my friends, and they said that trannies are cool, so you guys are a bunch of fucking nerds, and you need to let them in the bathroom.
the absolute self-righteousness of this see you next Tuesday makes me want to vomit on her shoes.
Well, this is how you continue to lose support for the trans community, by saying that they don't impede on other people's rights. How about you say, let's make laws...
Speaking for other people.
How about you say, let's make laws that are individualized for these trans individuals that don't step onto these other people's room spaces, whatever you want to call it, rights.
She's saying it's not happening.
Well, that's the thing, is if the other side is saying it is, by saying it isn't doesn't make it true.
Yeah, and you're not actually proving anything
Where's your
either.
proposal on how to make it more fair? How do you see it as being not an actual problem when the rest of the world does? You're not giving an argument. You're just saying
It's not happening.
Me and my friends, we went out, we asked people, they said no, trans are cool, and so I don't know why you guys are being such bigots, because they're not like stepping on your rights.
Yeah, because like me and my friends
Lesbians
are
actually
everywhere.
like trans. I went to like
the
5
world.
gay bars, and I went to Pride twice, and I found out that they all love trans. It's like, oh my God, why are you such bigots? Assholes, nerds, get your brain out of the gutters. They just want to be seen like women. That's why they bring their dicks out in our bathroom and piss on our floors.
Yeah.
My
That's
friends
great.
think that it's cool. I don't know why you don't.
Or, go to spas that are designated like towards women and, pulling out your penises in front of little girls and being like, oops, I'm trans. I'm a woman. You have to respect me and my penis and your 4-year-old's forehead.
Most lesbians don't mind seeing a penis going into the sauna, in a woman's only gym. It's fine.
Yeah, but the next thing you know, you see them protesting that spa, right? And you come to find out that they're either PDF files or R-word-ists.
Usually both.
Yeah, they usually have a record, or they're not allowed to be anywhere near
Well,
a
you can't
playground
really be
or
a
schoolyard.
PD file unless you are like harming children.
They
which
usually
can't
have a record of
consent to.
like I can literally name individuals who parade around as trans women who have a record
of being kitty touchers.
or rapists. So yeah,
There's
I think
more.
lesbians have a problem with that. I think that she's just a
She hasn't made a good argument. She hasn't said this is why they don't step on your rights. She's just like, it's cool, and you guys are kind of assholes. Like, why are you guys so up your own ass about this?
yeah. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. My friend says it's not happening. It's not happening. It's happening.
Young women than ever before identifying as lesbian and bisexual. And we should be pleased
my
that people
God.
feel able to be their true self.
Did she? This bitch just said identifying as a lesbian. Hold the fucking phone. I just totally crossed my Megyn Kelly rules.
Yep.
You chud, okay?
You don't really follow your Megyn Kelly rules. In the back of
No.
your head, you think you do?
I try. Sometimes I do very well, but not today. Oh no.
So,
no,
Chode, go
you
ahead.
do not identify. This is not like a personality trait. You don't identify like you identify as trans, as a lesbian. It's not an identity. It's a sexual motherfucking orientation. It is how you are attracted to people. This is who you are attracted to, sexually attracted to, the sex you are attracted to. This is not a personality identity. You don't if you're identifying as a lesbian, wake up, you dumbass. You ain't a fucking lesbian. Get it?
I think people get confused with it because they think they have to identify into groups. But
No, that just started from the trans shit.
I know, but it also like comes from like political movements where it's like I am this, I am that. People want a group to be with, and so they say this kind of stuff. But it's
How
ridiculous.
big of a loser do you have to be that you're like, oh, I need to be in a group in order to feel validated and to feel like I'm being myself? No.
You know it from high school. You wanted to fit in.
Yeah, I was a child.
But that's how everyone still thinks. Everyone still thinks like that.
As adults, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Because they're pathetic.
Because they never grew the fuck
Because
up.
they never learned that they can't live like that.
Oh, you mean they can't get their own goddamn way? Yeah, they're not in the real world. That's why. They haven't lived not under mommy and daddy or under school or college administrators. They haven't lived in the real world where people aren't going to be all nice and fluffy and call you by your preferred pronouns. Usually, they're probably going to bump into you and call you an asshole and go about their day. That's regular people. Some will be nice, but most are not going to kiss your ass just because you identify as something. That's insane. That's ridiculous.
I agree.
But it also puts to bed the lie that young lesbians are being forced to become trans men. Incredible.
You know, you can say it's a lie all you want, but when she says lie, I think truth because she says trans women are women, so I know that's a lie.
I think forced is the wrong word. They're being manipulated into believing.
Yep.
Which is a type of force. It's a manipulative force into believing that they should just be trans men.
It's coercive.
Yeah. And so I don't believe you, and you're not saying anything that actually holds any water. You're just saying it's not happening. And I
Yeah.
hate that kind of, like, you could use any example of, oh, well, trans individuals need their own space to do what they have to do, and it could be harmful for trans men to go into the women's room because they can still be seen as men. If you want to make that argument, sure, it can be an argument made that, like, it still looks like a man walking in the women's restroom, so, it's hard still, right? But you're not even making that argument.
Yeah, but, give me what do you think the percentage of trans men that pass are?
I'm not saying it's high, but I'm saying that's an argument she could have made from her side, saying that it is not fair to the trans men to make that law. She didn't even make that argument. I'm not even on their side, and that's still, like, that's one example I can think of if I were to try and fight for their side for a second.
Transitioning is a choice. If you make a choice, everyone else doesn't have to suffer because of something you chose to do.
No, and I'm not saying that that's it. I'm saying she is saying that they're not stepping on our rights. Our argument is that they are.
Yeah.
And she's not providing any examples.
She's saying it's not happening. That's
That's
what they
all.
all do.
That's all she's saying. And she's not providing a single example of how it could be harming her side to not have legislation going towards what she wants. Which I can at least come up with something that makes logical sense for a second for an argument. You know what I mean? Why can't you?
Because they don't know how to critically think. They only know how to tell people what to do, lie, embellish, and say shit ain't happening.
That was the whole thing. And she posted this.
Yeah.
It's her video. She was proud of this. But she said nothing. It was a nothing burger of 54 seconds of wasting my time.
Yeah. lesbians,
your time.
lesbians accept all trans women. No, because I don't know all trans women. I know specific trans women who aren't fucking insane, like rapey, bullying, masculine, identifying as female people. I don't know them. You think I'm gonna, oh yeah, because you say you're trans, I'm automatically gonna trust you. Yeah, that's how women get into sticky situations, get assaulted, maybe not live anymore. I mean,
at the end of the day,
it's so dangerous for women. And if women decide that that's going to be their thing, to just believe all trans women, fine. You know, you wanna walk into the fire. Have at it, lady. That's your prerogative. But you shouldn't be telling a whole bunch of young girls that they should, because that's going to lead to dangerous situations. And you're not going to be at fault for that.
And at the end of the day, the reason Trump won is because so many women don't want men in their bathrooms. They feel their rights are being stepped on. So as much as you can say lesbians like it, lesbians aren't the majority of women.
Nope.
So fuck off with that. And that's from a lesbian. Lesbians don't like it. Straight women don't like it. Some lesbians do because they're really woke, but most of us don't. And so, therefore, it shouldn't be allowed.
And you know what? They're asking the rich lesbians, too.
The hoity-toity pride lesbians.
Yeah, they're talking to women who don't have to deal with this shit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Go to women who are broke as fuck. Go to lesbians who are broke as fuck. Ask them how they feel about it, and I guarantee you'll be given a different answer.
Yep.
But it's the identity politics that they're using instead of the socioeconomic politics.
Yeah.
Which is, poor people are going to have a different answer. But if you keep polling a whole bunch of rich, snooty cunts who live in a fucking gated community who don't have to deal with this shit. Never.
How often have I taken a poll?
Never.
So how much of the regular Voice of America are you hearing? That's why I say, where'd you go to poll this?
See, this
College?
is the funny thing. Is
Colleges?
Right. And mainstream media tells you, well, the polls say this, the polls say that, Kamala's going to win, blah, blah, blah. And America said, well, you see, America isn't a whole bunch of rich people. No, most of us are poor as fuck.
Class.
So we're going to tell you how we feel with our votes. And America has spoken. Now, someone like the Sonny Hostin will say, well, it's just because they're misogynistic. But it's like, no, we're broke and we have to deal with the shit you don't have to deal with that you push on a daily fucking basis, you bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like, comment, subscribe. For more angry Tina.
Yeah.
And some more fat Jesse.
No.
Yeah. Bye.